Hello, welcome to my official YouTube podcast, God of Air. So I have been joined by none other than Michael Wack, who we will do the review for the second test match. Michael, welcome to the show.
Yeah, great to be here.
Yeah, so again, West Indies showed some fight on the first test match, but didn't manage to turn up on the second test match.
Yeah, look, I think they were playing against 8 players in the first test, and they
Yep,
almost lost. This time they were playing against 10 players, and it was just a bit
10 tests,
much.
10 tests. Yeah,
Um, you know, the West Indies have got some significant problems, and I think part of them is the balance of their side. That they're going in with 6 bowlers, a wicketkeeper, and 4 batsmen, and that's
yep,
you can't build an innings that way. They're having to play the extra bowlers because their bowlers are getting tired. They wouldn't have to play. The bowlers wouldn't get tired if the batsmen were able to bat for a full day and give the bowlers a chance to put their feet up. So they've got some big issues at the moment where they're just not scoring enough runs, and their bowlers are pretty good, but
yep,
they're not scoring enough runs, and they need to fix that, or else it doesn't really matter what the bowlers do.
yep. And don't you think they are still trying to make a lot of changes in this in the team's playing 11s?
Um, well, yeah, I mean they made a few changes, but some of those were enforced. You know, they got rid of Chanderpaul was out because of injury. Alec Athanaze, I mean, they dropped him to bring in Hodge, and I think that was probably a good move. Looking at how well Hodge batted compared to what we saw from
Yep,
Athanaze in the rest of the tour.
that's nice.
You know, in terms of the bowling, um, they did lack some teeth, and I think Anderson Phillip looked like a pretty handy bowler. His stats don't look
Yep,
good, but what you actually
yeah.
saw of him running in a bowling looked much better than his numbers look. So I can see why they went with him, but they really need to look at having Roach and uh, Greaves as
Yeah,
counted as just one batsman, as one bowler, and bring in an extra batsman.
one
They
ball.
can't run four
Right.
specialist bowlers and 2 all-rounders. It's just not working for them.
And their obsession with the all-rounders doesn't fit in the test team, if you ask me. You need to have a proper out-and-out bowler, and you can add maximum one all-rounder in that team.
Oh, look, I think you can have 2 all-rounders in terms of you've got Greaves, who's going to be pretty good with the newish ball
Yeah,
and when there's a bit of life in the pitch. And then you've got Chase, who's pretty good with an older ball or when
all
the
the
pitch
bowler.
is
Yeah,
taking a bit of spin. You know, that's actually quite useful that both of them are sort of half a bowler. You put those two together, that's got your 4 bowlers. And they're both pretty handy players. But you need to add, you can't have 4 bowlers and them. You have 3 bowlers and those two. Maybe works. I mean, they're trying to make them into sort of Jack Callis type figures, batting all rounders,
yeah,
but they're
yeah,
really, I mean, they're not good enough at batting to do that role
yeah. That's the main thing.
reliably. They are, you know, you just can't. They need to go with 3 bowlers, and the 3 bowlers and the 2 all-rounders is fine. You don't need to have 4 bowlers and 2 all-rounders.
Okay. Tell me more about this Duffy. I think his name is Jacob Duffy. Can you let me know because I was seeing his bowling action, and I got reminded of Colin de Grandhomme. His bowling action is very similar to Colin de Grandhomme.
Yeah, look, he's interesting. I'd in the past called him poor man's Tim Southey because he's about the same height, 6'4" ish. He's a big unit. I mean, to be honest, he looks like he'd be more at home on a rugby field than a cricket field. Sometimes he's a solid bloke. Um, and he ran in and bowled 130 kilometre an hour outswingers. And we didn't need a second player doing that because we already had Tim Southey doing it. But when Southey was injured a couple of years ago, they brought Duffy in. He did exactly what Southey did, not quite as well as Southey, but did it really well. But what happened? The big thing that happened was that he got a chance to work with New Zealand bowling coach, and Shane Jurgensen had a look at his action and said, "You know, I think the way you're running in is slowing you up." and changed his run up, and it's added 10 kilometers an hour to his bowling speed. And so all of a sudden he goes from being a medium pace outswing bowler, which there is thousands of, to a guy that's bowling 142, 143. And that's a completely different story. When you're swinging the ball like he does at that speed, you're suddenly, I mean, that's James Anderson territory as opposed to a good club quick bowler. And so he's, by adding that 10 Ks, he's just completely transformed himself as a bowler. He's older though. I mean, he's 33, I think. So he's not likely to have a huge career. But Anderson played till he was 40. It's possible that he could play because he hasn't had.
And he's still going on in the league's matches.
Yeah, well, that's right. And he hasn't had the years of no rest. You know, in terms of he's been playing in New Zealand and then working on the farm in the winter. So he's actually not been cricketed out like a lot of the players that are 27 who've been playing 12 months a year have been. So in some ways, he's well placed to go a little bit longer.
And what about Michael Ray? I think I was just seeing his bowling action and his band also, the hair band, which Chris Martin used to. I got reminded of the Chris Martin once again. And the same bowling action, the same height was there. And tell me more about Ray.
Well, I think I actually mentioned to you last time that he was a bit similar to Chris Martin in terms of he's able to bowl long spells.
You did mention me. Yeah, you did mention me.
Yeah, he bowls right arm in swing, which is fairly unusual. He tends to cut it off the pitch more than Martin did. And he's also not likely to last very long if you pitch it up when he's batting. He's all right if you bang it in, and West Indies put some in his body and he hit them for 4. But the second time they pitched it up, his castle went. He's definitely a number 11. That may well be his highest test score that he got in that game because everyone else will just bowl at the stumps and get him out. I don't know if he's I may be being harsh, but what I've seen of him, he's not there for a long time very often with the bat. But he's fit. He can bowl long spells and he can bowl well with the old ball. He doesn't need a new ball to be successful. In fact, the variable bounce he gets with the old ball makes him more dangerous with the older ball than the new ball, a little bit like Wagner or Chris Martin. Okay. So he's actually a really useful guy to have up our sleeve for the odd game where we need someone to just take that donkey role. And he could end up being a very good third seamer for New Zealand.
And what about Tickner? I think, unfortunately, he got injured while fielding on the fine leg, but he bowled some exceptional overs during the first innings.
Yeah, look, we'd seen Tickner play, and we'd watched him and thought, this guy should be an amazing bowler, and he never quite was. You'd watch him and you think, look, he runs in well, he bowls at good pace, he hits the seam quite regularly. He should be a world-class bowler, and he just wasn't. And he got dropped, and he got told that was pretty much it. His career was over. He wouldn't get picked again. And so he went back. And around the same time that happened, his wife had their first child and then was diagnosed with cancer. And so his life was completely turned upside down. He ended up sort of stopping playing cricket professionally and started looking after their business and looking after the baby while his wife was getting treatment. And then when things settled down, his wife, I believe, is doing much better now. The cancer's in remission. He was able to go back to training and back to playing for Central just because he liked it. He enjoyed it. And he went back and going in with a clear mind and being able to just play for the fun of it and just enjoy playing it. He's come back as just the sort of bowler that we always thought he could be, that he's not under pressure anymore. He's just enjoying bowling well. And the result of that is he really is bowling well. I mean, he's been remarkable find for someone who, there was every time he was picked, there was the New Zealand fan forums all lit up with not Blair Tickner again. Why are they wasting their time with this guy? He never, now you look at him and go, oh, well, he's got to win one of the first names written down. It was outstanding bowling from him. And it's just such a pity that he got injured.
And last question before we end this interview. Will Imlek, the wicket keeper, will play ahead of Tom Blundell because Tom Blundell also not been contributing a lot of runs.
Yeah, look, Mitchell Hay. There's a pretty good
Sorry.
chance that Imlac's not likely to be picked for New Zealand. He's a bit tied to the West Indies, but Mitchell Hay, yeah, look, there's been pressure on Blundell for a little while. I honestly thought they'd go with Max Chu from Otago.
Okay.
I thought he was a better option as a keeper, but what Hay did today, I mean, he's certainly Blundell is older. He's I think what 35 maybe Tom Blundell, and Mitchell Hay is about 26. So long term, Hay is going to be the player that ends up playing for New Zealand for quite a while. And he certainly has already been picked in the limited overs, but he looked at home in the test matches. And I think it'll be interesting to see what they do if Blundell is fit. But Hayes certainly put his name in lights. He's given himself every chance to be picked as the keeper going forward.
No issues. Thank you, Michael. It was a pleasure talking to you once again. We'll join once again if something is happening with the New Zealand cricket. Till then, thank you for joining us. Till then, guys, do like it, subscribe it, and hit the bell icon. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Michael.
Later.